speaking of iconic silent film stars, I also watched several films either starring or featuring Rudolph Valentino. It turns out I've seen most of the films that he actually starred in. Um, and so these were a lot of like early roles in his career. So the first one was called A Society Sensation. It's from 1918, and he is so hot in this movie. I lost it. I lost it. I was just like, oh my goodness. However, this film, when it was originally made, it starred Carmel Myers, who was a star at this time, a female star. Um, it was 50 minutes long. It was then re-edited and re-released after the height of Valentino's stardom to seem like he was the star and shorn down to 24 minutes. The movie doesn't make any sense at 24 minutes, to be honest, and it does make it look like he's more of the star. But there's bits of the story that make no sense because half the story's missing, and unfortunately, the full length version of this film is no longer available. It is lost, and all we're stuck with is this really truncated 24-minute version. But essentially, it's about a wealthy playboy, played by Valentino, who falls in love with what we think is a poor fisherman's daughter. There is more to this story that's revealed at the end, but it would have been revealed better if the film hadn't been chopped in half. But Valentino is stunning in this film, so it's good. I'm glad it exists regardless. The next one, he's barely in at all. And this is called, there's advertisements everywhere. This is called Virtuous Sinners, and it's about a woman who thinks she's married, finds out she's not married, gets kicked out of the home of the man that she's living with, winds up at a mission, and ends up falling for a high-end burglar who also falls for her and tries to fix his ways for her. But once you've been accused of crimes and committed crimes, it's kind of hard to get out of that vicious cycle. Even though love might be able to pull you out of it. It's a very of its time 50-minute melodrama with a tiny little bit of Valentino. Again, he's gorgeous in it, and you can see why he later became a huge star once he was able to really have a platform that launched his talents. This one was from 1919. The next one was also from 1919. This one was called The Eyes of Youth. It's a little over an hour long, and it stars Clara Kimball Young as a woman who is able to, through a medium, and this was a huge thing at this time in America and all over, I think, in England as well, with mediums and it's a whole thing. You should look it up. But anyways, she has the chance to see 4 different ways in which her future will play out, and you see all 4 different ways if she takes this choice or that choice, the other choice, love, ambition. I can't remember what the other 2 were. And in each case, it does not end up exactly how she wants it until she finds the one that is like, oh yeah, this is the right choice. And Valentino has a slightly larger role in this, but still only quite supporting as not the fortune teller, but he's something of this similar ilk. It's not. There are moments of it where they utilize some great photographic techniques, like to have shooting stars and things that I thought were gorgeous, um, and it was fun to see these sort of fantastical, futuristic visions play out. The ending's a little bit cheesy, but I think it works. And Clara Kimball Young's an actress I don't know much of, but I enjoyed watching her, so I need to seek out more of her films. The next one was called Stolen Moments, and it's from 1920, and it's about a novelist who is blackmailing his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend, into having an affair with him. And it's another one where one of these South American films, which is always bizarre. There's so many of these. Um, Basically, it's a melodrama. It's 35 minutes. You kind of know where it's going to go. You started to get a little bit more Valentino in this one, but he's still not the star. He's actually going to break out after this film. And again, it shows that he had that star quality, and the fact that he was sort of wasted in these supporting roles for several years is quite shocking. And then of course he dies young, and so you didn't get enough with him anyways. It's a real bummer. Um, but this so Stolen Moments was filmed concurrently with, or right before he was filming. The film it was film looking for. The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which is the one that really broke him out as a star. And so they upped his scenes in this in order to, when they release it, for it to do better. My nose itches. I'm sorry. And then the last one that I watched was one of his breakout films, one of his other breakout films, Blood and Sand. Obviously, the slightly more known version is the 1940 something one with Tyrone Power and is it I can't remember who the lead the woman is in that. Rita Hayworth and somebody else. Linda Darnell. Yeah. Um, the plot is about a toreador who falls in love with his mistress, but is also married to his wife, and they. What am I trying to say? Oh, he has to sort of pick between them, but his mistress is at this point sort of a high class mistress, and um, she's her circle doesn't treat him very well because he's a toreador and it's not really a celebrity, but she can't resist how hot he is, and but also like the violence of his bullfighting turns her on. It's a little something. Um, I enjoyed this one a lot. It really got to show off just how stunning Valentino was, how muscular he is, how much he can emote um, many different emotions. This was a Paramount film, so it's lush and gorgeous. And actually, Dorothy Arzner did some uncredited work on it. This was the beginning of her breaking out as a director. Um, I wonder if she had filmed more of it, if it would have been even better. I don't know. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long, and it really is quite a great early, like not quite as lush as some of these later era ones you're gonna get in the mid to late 20s, but there's the just the shots of him with the women, him seducing the women, are really hot, and the bullfighting stuff. Sometimes in the late, especially in the late teens, you have a lot of animal cruelty, and you're like, whoa. Thankfully, there's not actually any, as far as I could tell, bulls being killed in this movie. Um, so I wish I had. So the films that are on Filmstruck right now for Valentino, there's 11 of them. I'd actually seen most of them, so most of his lead ones. So this was not as much Valentino as I was hoping for. I definitely recommend watching all of the ones from 1920 on where he is the lead, and you get a lot of his presence because he really was a unique seduction, whatever. His seduction was unique. His seductive qualities are unique at this time, and he's just so much. Um, can't recommend it enough. So all these Valentinos are on Filmstruck right now. Most of them, I think, are also available from Flicker Alley. They have a two-set Valentino collection. They have two different sets. They're both just got upgraded to Blu-ray, so you can check them out in HD. And God, Valentino, he's gorgeous. I still love him today. 100 years later, still looking hot.